Are you still the same Napoleon?
I want to be DJ Shine or something. You know what I mean? There's one saying that says, fake it until you have
it. Shall I remind you of being interviewed?
Not very good for me to say that.
In just under 2 years, a personal brand has come and hit our airwaves. Napstar, the radio master. I get to talk to him on Brand Watch. Amazing stuff he talks about emotional labor. Hey, join me as we talk to Napstar Nyani, the radio master. Hello and welcome to Brand Watch, and I am here with Napoleon Nyani, Napstar, the radio master. Sir, you have been all over the place. You have been at the MTV Awards, Durban, South Africa, front page newspaper, right here. He's right here with me. Front page newspaper, you name it. Are you still the same Napoleon?
Which same Napoleon?
Well, you know what, we're excited and congratulations to the Star FM family that you're turning 2 years old.
Mm-hmm.
But you've been thrown out. Some of us know that you've been around in the public domain for a while, but mainstream, you've been, we could say from the inception of Star FM, it's about 2 years old.
True.
And I'm wondering, Napstar, Napoleon, Napstar, which brand? Are you still the same Napoleon that we've always known?
Still very much the same Napoleon. There hasn't been any change. There have been a few upgrades.
That's good.
And the upgrades have to do with sort of coming up with a persona that pushes the agenda that needs to be pushed. Okay. The agenda that needs to be pushed right now, the way I see it, is the agenda of coming up with a brand that can epitomize entertainment, at the same time epitomize sophistication.
Right.
So right now I've got two brands running concurrently.
Tell me.
There's the Napoleon Nyani brand,
Right. Yeah.
and then there's Napstar, the radio master.
Yeah.
And as radio master would entail, it's a radio brand.
Okay.
And obviously, like you said, that one has been alive for 2 years, since the inception of Star FM.
Yeah.
Now it was a huge opportunity for me, getting into Star FM auditions and all that.
Yeah.
And you then, I then got the good news that I'd made it as a presenter on Star FM. Yeah. Starting off, everyone was looking for a name. I want to be DJ Shine or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for me, it was quite easy to come up with Napstar because, a few people had already called me that before.
All right.
A friend of mine called Pastor Taz.
Yeah.
From church,
yeah.
pastor friend at the same time.
Yeah.
Used to call me Napstar.
Yeah.
Also from church, Pastor Tommy,
yeah.
One of my pastors, also used to call me Napstar.
Right.
A few other friends of mine used to call me Napstar. So it hadn't stuck yet.
Yeah.
But I liked it.
Right.
So when this opportunity came, I was like, okay, I'll call myself Napstar.
Yeah.
And then somewhere along the line, it rhymed with master, and I thought, radio master. So when it started, it was just a fun name to put together. And then along the way, you then realize that, this is a brand, and it needs to be taken seriously, and it needs to be built intentionally.
Yeah.
And you need to then augment it with certain things and make sure that you've got something formidable.
Yeah.
So the Napstar, the Radio Master brand, is a fun, young entertainment brand.
Yeah.
But I've got two brands, that's why I said.
Yeah.
Where, even on radio, I've got very serious programs.
Right.
And I've got very young and youthful programs.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're almost opposites.
Yeah, the po ones.
Exactly. And what's happening? Those kinds of shows.
And you're going to interview the minister.
And then I come back tomorrow and I'm interviewing the minister. So that's where Napoleon Nyani comes in.
Okay.
When I'm doing the serious stuff, talking to the ministers, wearing a suit, talking brands with Tafazo, it's serious business. But when when I'm out, when I'm hanging out with young people, when I'm going to the MTV Awards, when I'm going to the summers, when I'm interviewing DJ Fresh and talking to David O and talking, that's the entertainment, the fun guy. So I'm still the same guy.
Excited.
Just a few upgrades.
Just a few upgrades. And so how in 2 years, I mean, you should be able to let us know. You're obviously on a fantastic platform. People get to hear you every single day. We get to read you in the newspaper. But I was wondering, Napoleon Napstar, how important is Napoleon Napstar, the radio master, the Napstar radio master part? Is from where we come from branding perspective, it's got to do with positioning. How has that helped? Ultimately, I hear you rhymed, everything seemed to just fall in place. But how has that worked for you?
I think there's one saying that says, fake it until you have it.
Shall I remind you of being interviewed?
Not very good for me to say that. But at the same time, when I started off with this name, I wasn't a master.
All right.
Up until now, I'm not sure if I'm a master at my art yet.
Wow.
I've got a long way to go.
Okay.
But at the same time, the vision has to be set, and the vision is in the name. Every time I say that name, I am reinforcing my vision.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying?
So what you're saying is, while it's a positioning, it's also very aspirational.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
I'm not yet the radio master, but I am the radio master at the same time.
and any new skills that you had to acquire as Napstar?
A lot.
Right.
And it was the school of hard knocks.
Yeah.
Because you're learning while you're live on air with hundreds of thousands of people listening to you.
Yeah.
That's very hard. And learning those skills, it's a high pressure environment.
Okay.
But I had to learn a lot of skills. One, I had to learn to think on my feet.
Of course.
You can't stammer. And when you're thinking of a concept, you can't think for more than 2-3 seconds. Because then it's a gap.
Yeah.
It's a gap. And people are listening to the radio and they want to hear what's happening and to hear this guy thinking and stammering and wondering. They're like, really? So I learned a lot of things. Learned to think on my feet. Learned to think before I speak.
Yeah.
But
do it quickly.
Yeah. At the same time.
Well, tell you what, while we're listening to
thinking
you...
and speaking and speaking.
While we're listening to you, we don't even hear that. And what I promise you, and what has been interesting when we were inspired to have this interview with you, was we wanted to find out how important is attitude and the psychology behind being the best. As far as we're concerned, Napstar, you are the radio master. You are the dude. But what is that? What attitude do you have to wear if you've got to wear it or drink it? What's the psychology behind it?
There's something called emotional labor.
Emotional labor?
Yeah.
First time I've heard that.
Where, for air hostesses, for example, you've come from home, you've had a fight with your husband or whatever, but when you get onto the plane, you have to smile. It's a prerequisite, you have to smile.
Right.
You have to be nice, you have to be pleasant. Oh, thank you very much for flying with us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's emotional labor. You have to work hard to suppress your emotions and bring out a certain required emotion. That's the same thing with radio. You come there, you have to put up what is required of you. If it's a fun show and you are ill, or there's one time I went to the radio without a voice.
Really?
I woke up in the morning. It was a 9 a.m. show.
Yeah.
I woke up at about 6 a.m. and my voice was croaky and gone. And I called my boss and he said, you know what? I understand you, but there's no one who can cover for you at such short notice. You got to do what you got to do.
Next time they say that, you just call me.
So I still had to go to work.
Yeah.
And I had to sound convincing and excited. And people were writing on WhatsApp and calling me and saying, what's with this show, man? I was like, you know what? I had an interesting night last night, but you know what? The party's gonna go on.
Well, the party's gonna go on, but we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be back just now with more with Napoleon Yani, Napstar, the radio master. back to Brand Watch, and we still are with Napstar, the radio master. Napoleon, our conversations are very exciting. I could do this with you the whole day.
Well, because you're my brother, or because
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's go back a little bit.
Uh-huh.
You did talk about the auditions and everything, and now you are Napstar, the radio master. But before you and at Star FM, there are great names that we can talk about. I mean, we're talking about Teach, the Midas Touch Matthias. We're talking about Admire Mdara Taderera. We're talking about Bob's Comfort Mbufana. How have you handled the pressure of living up to their standards? This is the thing about personal branding, you know. You always have role models, you always have people who come before you.
I think that is a better word.
Okay.
Role models.
Yeah.
Why? Because I've never really looked at it as pressure to perform to their standard or to fit into their shoes.
Yeah.
I've looked at it more as in standing on their shoulders.
Good.
So they're role models, they're mentors. Listen, I get mentored by Comfort Mofana like almost on a daily basis. Like, you know, reviewing shows. Abamfana, I think you should have done this. You should have done this. You know what I mean? It's that I don't think we should ever be in competition with those that have gone before us to try and live up to. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, the first thing that hit me in Napstar is to say, I would like say to Comfort, hold on, you're not the radio master. I am the radio master.
No way. That would be my downfall right there. You know, listen, I'll talk to you about someone like Mdara, Admire Taderera.
Yeah.
Been in the industry for decades, close to 30 years now.
Yeah.
You know, that is some wisdom there. You know, you might, sometimes also because of sometimes young man's disease.
Yeah, young man's disease.
Where you're thinking, you know how teenagers are sometimes, where they think they know everything and you know nothing.
Yeah.
Sometimes that catches up with you and you tend to think, Madara out of touch, you know, they don't understand how things are working nowadays, they don't understand what's trendy and what's hip and happening.
Yeah.
But wisdom is wisdom.
Yeah.
Those guys will tell you fundamentals that have nothing to do with trends, nothing to do with what's hot and what's not, but everything to do with broadcast principles.
Right.
And that's what I've taken from those guys that have gone before. And I still don't think there's I don't think, how can I put it?
You must have a lot of good words for these guys, because if you have to dig deep for those words for them.
No, it's a lot of respect.
Oh, that's good.
It's a lot of respect. I think they've done a lot for the industry, and they've done a lot for people like me who listened to them growing up.
Yeah.
And now
they get to listen to you.
Now I'm on the same platform with them, and I get to glean from them on a daily basis, and it's a good experience.
Wonderful. Now let's talk about friends. You obviously have had friends before who are now looking at you. You are front page. You are headlining in news. You are on Facebook with all the celebrities. You are being called out to corporate functions to either just be there or to present. It's your season, Napstar. I mean, somebody once told me that you must never apologize for the blessings that the Lord gives you. But we can't ignore the fact that there are old buddies who are looking at you and saying,
It is true.
How have you handled that?
That is pressure.
Yeah.
I like the fact that you said, you can never apologize for the blessings that God gives you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there is a measure of misunderstanding with your friends.
Yeah.
Or with your old buddies, like you put them.
Yeah.
Whereby they start thinking, now that you are there, you don't call us anymore.
Yeah.
But sometimes, and I think with all success, with all, whatever measure it is, whenever you go from one level to the next and to the next and to the next, and the higher you go, the lonelier it becomes, the harder it becomes to relate to, to everyone else, simply because they think, wildfire. Either you don't have time much anymore because on the grind, you've got things to do and deadlines and and you're traveling or whatever, and people think,
Napoleon.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now it's taken with it's taken they take offense.
Yeah.
At certain of those things. I don't have many friends like that, but I do have some people who do call me up and say, yeah.
No,
exactly. It's hard.
Yeah.
And also, I'm gonna say this, as a Christian,
yeah.
my industry is very tricky. Why? Because there's a very fine line between brand promotion and self-praise.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
If I call myself the radio master, it's very hard to draw the line between me praising myself, saying I'm the man, I'm the master, and y'all need to bow.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And me just saying, listen, it's a vision. And it's an aspiration. I'm putting forth what I want it to be, and I'm going to say it every day in that way. The line is very thin.
Yeah.
When I post stuff on Facebook, you know, get photos of myself, you know, with celebrities whether in South Africa or whatever, or in Zim, and you know, post something on a daily basis. You're posting photos, you're posting this, and it's like, you know, even Facebook itself is actually a very self-centered, self-praise type of media.
Yeah.
You know, and unfortunately for my type of industry, those platforms
have to be used.
And they have to be milked.
Yeah, and we need to know.
And exactly.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're gonna get the exposure that will get you into the right places, you know, that you for you to make the money and make the living.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult. So sometimes some of my Christian friends also don't understand that.
Yeah.
They're like, Shaman, Shazonyanya.
Yeah.
Every day you're just posting photos of yourself. This is now self-praise. Good, just watch our papa. You know what I mean? It's hard to balance some of those things. So those are some of the pressures. Yeah.
But you know what? As a public figure now, you have a responsibility. I mean, I think that's one thing I would like to hear from you, Napstar, is as a public figure, there comes pressures of living a public life. Yet, you did say there's Napoleon Yanni, there's Napstar the Radio Master, and ultimately, as the public, we want to know, so this guy, who is he really? And you remember my first question, are you still the same Napoleon? How have you carved out your unique personal brand so that you can stand out? I mean, this has happened. I think your brand has grown very fast. So how have you been able to carve out your unique, guys? Those are deals. I mean, I think sometimes, maybe you don't want to confess here, but sometimes you've got to say, take the leave it, guys. But those are deals.
That's a difficult question. How have I carved out my unique what?
Your unique personal brand.
That's a difficult question.
Yeah.
Well, I can't take all the credit for it.
Okay.
I think part of it is, listen, I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
Part of it, I think, is just the leading of the Holy Spirit.
Good.
As in, I found myself here.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
On the other side, I think there's a diligence as well.
Yeah.
In terms of, this is the image that I want to put out there.
Yeah.
I think with branding, a lot of people take it for granted and segment it.
Okay.
And say, my brand is what I say on radio, for example. I think it has to be consistent with what you say when you're at the club, when you're at the Guch, when you're at the Briar with the boys, when you are at wherever you are, even at home. I think that brand needs to still carry. You know, I don't believe in a private life and a public life. As in, you know, like segmenting and saying, okay, when I'm in public, this is who I am. When I'm in private, please leave me alone because this is now who I am. You know, I think I think that's what causes a lot of the challenges with celebrities. Where you now have to be doing flip-flop with different lives and different personas. So I've really tried to bring some consistency. It's still very hard. I haven't achieved it yet, simply because some of the things, like I said, work is work, and you have a certain persona that is required for a certain show. And sometimes you tend to take it by the horns and take it a bit far.
Yeah.
Because you really want to be convincing. It's like acting, you have to go for it.
Yeah.
So sometimes that persona goes a bit out of who I really am.
Yeah.
But it's still within my sphere. So carving out. How do I carve out? I don't know.
Tell you what, let me just maybe you'll answer it slightly differently. You wake up in the morning, Napstar, you've taken a bath and you are dressing up and you go and look into the mirror and you look at the reflection. Is that the dude that you know? Are you happy with the dude you're looking at?
Am I happy with the dude?
Well, look, tell you what, you're getting ready to go to work.
Questions.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we want to know. You are a personal brand that everybody's looking out for in Zimbabwe. I promise you. And by the way, thanks for joining us on Brand Watch.
No, it's my pleasure.
Yeah.
I'm happy with where I'm going.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I'm happy with what I'm becoming. Not yet where I'm supposed to be. Good. But I'm happy with the direction. So when I look into the mirror, I'm not satisfied per se.
Yeah.
But I'm okay.
But you're content.
I'm content.
There's
There's a statement that I always tell myself. Fun enough, I've actually never told anyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to tell the whole world?
Yeah. I don't know actually how I started this.
Yeah.
But it's actually become a ritual in my head, especially when I'm dressing up.
Yeah.
Because there's those days when you feel like just come on, just kick some slops. And I always tell myself, you're always on.
Oh, really?
You're always on. You know, in theater they say, and action.
Yes.
I always tell myself, it's always action. You're always on air, you're always on.
Wow.
So, whether it's how you dress,
Yeah.
how you talk, where you walk, how you walk, who
You're
you're with,
always on.
you're always on. Simply because there's someone with a camera somewhere. So take a photo of you in some compromising or whatever.
Yeah.
So you're always on. Always on guard. You're always on.
Well,
So
that is exciting. We have to go to another break, but when we come back, we want to find out where the brand Napstar is going. Well, it's always on, but it's also going somewhere. Join us in a moment or two.
cheers.
Well, welcome back to this wonderful and exciting episode of Brand Watch, and with Napoleon, I've said it before, I'll say it again. We could do this over and over again, but we've got one more segment, just 2 or 3 more questions to ask you. And let's start off. I like the part where you said you're always on air, because you don't have an opportunity to just lay back. You can't lay back in life. Life goes on. But the celebrity status, whether you like it or not, Napstar, you are a celebrity. How are you managing the celebrity status?
That's hard. Part of it is that knowing that I'm always on air.
Okay.
There's no chance to slack or to fall back, and I don't always achieve that.
Okay.
There are times that I'm like, if someone had, walked in, or if someone had taken a photo of me today,
Yeah.
But that's what I strive for.
Yeah.
Another thing is emotional labor.
I like that. I've never heard it before, and I read a lot. Emotional labor.
You have to do that a lot if you are a celebrity. Simply because when people hear you on radio or see me on TV or in the newspaper or whatever, they relate to me, and you befriend people. on radio, you talk to people, and sometimes people call in, and you're very friendly, and they write you messages, and you're replying, but sometimes because it's all for work, it might just be an act. When you get off radio, you're walking down the road, you meet that same person, they might get a very nasty response from you, because now you're thinking,
good day,
I'm done with work. And someone's like, hey, Nancy, like, hey, what's up? What do you want? So now to carry that energy and that personality into every other aspect of your life is very hard. And that's why I bring up the word emotional labor again. You have to still be friendly and still be approachable and still have the same personality that you have on radio, simply because eventually, it might be one person, eventually the people will detest your brand.
All right.
Simply because now they know you. There's so many artists that we know of, musicians that people do not like. Their music is nice, but the person, I am, So you don't want to be. I don't want to be that person.
Okay.
So the status that I have to manage is to be consistent, to be the same guy, the same guy on radio, the same guy on TV, the same guy and at home, the same guy at church, the same guy at whether it's with the boys at the pride, it's the same guy. Same personality, same likes and dislikes. That's why it's also very, very dangerous to act things out
that you're not really.
There's certain things, even on radio, that I said, you know what, this I'm not strong in. Even when I've got a brilliant idea, I'll give it to someone else and say, you know what, if you did this, I think it would fly. I won't go and do it myself because I know that it's not consistent with my personality and my brand.
That's very exciting, because we've always wondered how celebrities have managed their brands. How
let me say something to that. It's an aside. It's a thought that I have.
Go ahead.
And I've got the platform, so
you
I'll just say it.
Say it.
Zimbabwe does not really have celebrity. Why I say that is because I think celebrities are created by the media.
Okay.
And actually it's mostly the media.
All right.
Yeah. So when you say I'm a celebrity, it's simply because of the maybe the position that I hold, which is of a radio presenter or a TV presenter who speaks to millions, or the fact that I'm known by many people.
Okay.
But to me, a celebrity is someone who is celebrated.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
And when you talk celebrity status, or celebrated status,
right,
the way it's measured the world over, it's someone who's got fans.
Right.
People who, follow you, they love you, they associate with you, and they identify with you.
Yeah.
It's also got to do with money. The way I see it.
Hey, Mother Teresa was a celebrity, but she didn't have money. Got you there.
She did. She just gave it away.
Okay, let's talk about money.
Now, when I say money, it's simply because
I've always thought it was about influence. But now, if you talk about money,
I was getting there. I was getting there. Yeah, don't rush me.
Okay, go ahead.
When I say money, I mean people. To get celebrity status, it comes with respect.
Okay.
Unfortunately, our society respects you based on your pocket.
Okay.
A lot of the times.
Yeah.
They'll see me on the road getting into a combi and they'll say, do you know Napstar? You get what I'm saying? And either they stop being a fan, or they just, in their mind, reduce you from celebrity status to kia. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that side of industry or whatever that needs to support art and media and whatever, the different spheres that produce celebrities, the fact that it's lacking makes it very difficult in Zimbabwe to have any celebrity status whatsoever. I was involved in an event recently where the organizers wanted to invite Zimbabwean celebrities, and it was a tough job. You know, besides musicians,
Who else do you call?
who else do you call?
Yeah.
And the musicians, are they really celebrities? You know, because when you say celebrities, you want to think of, you know, the media is going to be following that person, so we don't have to invite media. I went to the MTV Africa Music Awards.
Yeah.
They don't have to invite paparazzi or whatever, because they'll just say Trey Songz is coming, and everyone is like, can we get a pass? Can we get a pass? We want to come. They say, you know, Marlon Wayans is going to be there, or Mafikizolo is going to be there, or David O, or Tiwa Savage. Anyway, the celebrities, mention the celebrity's name, and you've got a whole following of, you know, right media houses, you know.
That's very interesting.
Exactly, fans, all sorts of people that will come. So there's a whole economy around that person.
Wow.
You get it?
Yeah, I now get the money part. But tell you what, we still at Brandwatch, we believe that because we've been watching your brand, you are our celebrity. We celebrate your success.
Thank you.
But where is Brand Napstar going?
And influence as well, sorry.
Yeah. I gave you that one. I gave you
Influence is a
that
big one. Where is Brand Napstar going?
Where is Brand Napstar going?
My passion, my biggest passion is actually TV production.
Okay.
Looking to do a lot more work in TV, TV presenting and TV production. I've worked in front of the camera and behind the camera. And I'm also looking to do a lot more on the radio side of things. So there's, in terms of my radio work, I think I've only just scraped about 2% of what I'm supposed to do.
Wow, that's amazing.
You know.
Yeah.
2% being 2 years.
Okay.
So-
Good luck with getting to 100%.
Hundreds. Here we come. And on the TV side, I've got high hopes. There's a lot happening. You know, we've heard from the Deputy Minister of Information, Media Information and Broadcasting Services, and they're saying, you know, by next year we'll have more TV stations in Zimbabwe. You know, those are exciting things. You know, so I've got high hopes on the TV side of things as well. So yeah, Brand Napstar.
Watch this space.
Brand Napstar, the Radio Master will remain a radio brand.
Oh, right.
The Radio Master will remain a radio brand. Napstar will carry forward
That's good.
as an entertainment brand.
Oh.
Napoleon Yanni is the brand that I'm going to die with.
Well,
Okay.
one more thing that you'd like to say to the people that follow you, however you define it, whether it's as fans or whoever, your family, after talking about personal brands, what would you like to say to the Zimbabwean populace at large?
When you mention following,
Yeah.
the first thing that came to my mind was that Twitter bird.
Yeah.
Because on Twitter you say follow.
Yeah.
You know. One thing that has been on my mind of late is that when you follow, where are you being led?
Okay.
There's a lot of people. I think one of the people with the most followers on Twitter is Justin Bieber. He's got plus of 60 million followers. That's about
How many
about
Zimbabweans?
5 times the population of Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
You know? And the next is Lady Gaga with about 50 million followers.
Yeah.
Okay, you follow them, but where are they leading you to?
It's good.
Because when you follow someone, and they're leading you somewhere. I'd like to say to those that do follow me and those that consider me a celebrity or those that are my fans, that don't follow blindly. I have no intentions of having, you know, breathless cheerleaders, so to say. Let's build something. Let's move forward with purpose and with understanding. I think in Zimbabwe, there's a lot of potential that we have, and we can build something. But I think we need to be more intentional and more serious with how we invest in ourselves and how we invest in the things that we think can make a difference. A lot of the things that you're probably following with me is hard work and investment, intentionality and consistency. And my message to you is build, then they will come. Don't ask them to come first so that you can build. If you've got a business idea, go out and implement it. Put your own money, put your own sweat into it. Find a way of starting it. Rather than have a business plan, I think the era of business plans is gone. I think now is the time to just do. And then go to them and say, I've got this thing that I'm doing. You either jump on board or you get left behind, because this train is moving. It's not stopping for nobody. If you don't jump on board, I'm still going to do this and someone else.
That's good.
You know, so that's my take home. That's what I think. That's where I'm going. That's what I'm doing, and I hope we can do it together. I think as Zimbabwe, we've got a lot of potential. We're at a turning point in our history, and we can do this. It's still very easy in Zimbabwe to start something, to start a company. In other countries you can't.
Well, there are 30 companies registered every day in Zimbabwe. We've done the research.
Wow.
But
That's exciting.
my takeaway is emotional labor. But, ladies and gentlemen, you have been on Brand Watch, but I am not Napoleonian. You are with me, Tafazo Mkoy. Thank you for joining us. See you in the next and exciting segments to come. Thank you.